Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Listen, all you New Yorkers.
Excuse me.
Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
We love this guy, former congressman, Homeland Security. He did so many great things over 4 decades, and he's still a major, major part of not just this radio station, but politics on the island, whether it's Bruce Blakeman running for governor or Mike LaPetri running against Tom Suozzi or Anthony D'Esposito running against Laura Gillum or Mazi Pill. It doesn't matter. He's involved. He's the godfather. He's Pete King. Come on. Peter, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Sid, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm
By
doing
the way,
great.
I have to say, though, first I get bumped off the show yesterday. Then I have to listen to Amelia Takis and Lawler carrying on. All because I got you a free ticket. I'd say if I was in Congress, I'd be investigating the whole thing. I don't know.
I figure it's got to be okay because the last time I went to the State of the Union, again, Biden 2 years ago, the first person I saw sitting downstairs in the chamber, you ready for this? At that point, he was already out of Congress. George Santos. And I looked over and I said, wait a second, he's out of Congress. And I like George, okay? But there's a criminal investigation going on. How was he sitting there? Ironically, he was sitting there with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz. This is some crew, huh? And I believe Lauren Boebert. But that's the first person I saw 2 years ago. So I guess the rule is if you're a member of Congress, you get to come back. How does that work, Pete?
Yeah, basically you can go back for life. I mean, you can go back for any event on the House floor. That's State of the Union, really any foreign leaders come in, any of those great speeches and addresses you say. As a former member of Congress, you're allowed back in, yeah.
Wow. So there you have it. That explains it. So I looked at that. I go, of course I should be here. Let me get to the big story today, Pete. Right up your alley, and that is Iran. I know that President Trump spoke or met with the top advisors from Iran, but all I'm seeing is we're adding more firepower right there just by Iran. Now the Pentagon has added more muscle to the Middle East because Israel certainly is going to be on high alert if, in fact, we do attack Iran. Even if Israel's not involved, I think they will be. So it just looks like we are moving towards it. And Fox News reported this morning that for some reason they reported or seemed to think that it could happen as early as this weekend. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, going to war is never an easy decision because it's never as easy as it looks at the start. That things can always go wrong. There can be other ramifications, but it reaches a limit where the president's going to feel he has to make a decision. And also, you said Israel's not involved. Israel has to be involved one way or the other because of their intelligence, of the assets that they have there, whether or not it's overt or not. The fact is, Israel is a needed ally in anything we do in the Middle East. And thank God that Israel is there, not just for their sake, but for ours. No, listen, I think the president's going to decide that if more has to be done, if these talks are going nowhere, which, by the way, for the most time, whether it's Iran at any time, they've never kept their word. They made this great, solemn, profound agreement with Barack Obama, and everybody swore by it, that they got billions of dollars from us, and within the first 10 minutes, that they were violating it.
Yep.
So, to me, Steve Woodcock can talk all he wants about what they get on paper. I don't believe any of that. I think the president's going to see through any of the phoniness, and if a decision has to be made to go to war, as profound as that is, I think he's going to make it. Listen, last summer, when he attacked the nuclear facilities, I can tell you for the whole 28 years I was down in Congress, people spoke about that as almost like a pipe dream. Oh, well, that'd be great if we could do it, but that's going to set up World War III. That's going to blow up the entire Middle East. It really can't be done. It was done in 2 hours. When President Trump did it, it was done in 2 hours.
Yep.
I'm going to say this will be as easy as that, but there is a time for firm and decisive leadership. And if the president decides that's the only route to go, then I'll be with him 100%.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, you mentioned Midnight Hammer, and it was just a show of skill by our pilots, our Air Force and Navy, just dramatic, so good. And like you said, got it done in 2 hours, just destroying almost all, not all, but almost all of their nuclear capabilities. But this one seems different. Now, I know we're not going there to kill civilians, okay? We're not looking to drop bombs like we did to end World War II with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But this one is a lot bigger. There's a lot more power that we're bringing to Iran. So what can we expect from this attack from the United States?
Well, it depends upon what the attack is going to be. If we have, and again, I have no idea what our intelligence is showing, but I'm sure that they have targets already selected, the early targets to go at. And that could destroy, the defense capabilities. It could go right to, as a decapitation, taking out, the top leaders, top facilities around the country, and to see what result that brings. If not, then it'll have to be more. I don't think we ever want to put land forces on the ground over there. I think it's going to be primarily naval and air. And but right now, the Pentagon, I'm sure, has at least 20, 30, 40, 50 sites selected in order of importance to target them first. And our targets, our precision is extraordinary. And you hope all that goes right. I mean, the fact is, something can always go wrong. And that first rocket could hit a children's hospital. It could hit an old age home, whatever. And so that's like the unexpected aspects of war that you have to be ready for. But on balance, I think we have targets lined up, and we're going to go at them. And that's the way it almost has to be done. And we are the most efficient military, going back to the Gulf War in 1991. People were amazed by what was done. Since then, whenever we get involved in something, certainly the precision is always there. Like with Venezuela. I mean, whoever thought that would happen? That you would go to the most secure location of the most secure dictator in the world and get him out and not have one loss of life on our side. It was incredible.
I want to stick with unintended consequences, though, Peter, on the way out. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
And you've done an amazing job the last couple of years. You go back to Washington, and, well, people are talking about new age terrorism. You keep going back to 9/11, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They're here, right? So I read something on the internet yesterday from a very popular Jewish, I guess, what do you call those people, influencers. And he said, listen, Israel's on high alert. We know that. They are ready for an Iranian attack. They were attacked twice by Iran last year. And thankfully, the Iron Dome, the United States, and other countries made sure that not one Israeli died those first two attacks. And then, of course, when they started hitting buildings in Tel Aviv, they did kill a bunch of Israelis over the summer. But this person was saying on the internet that here in America, don't kid yourself, they've got sleeper cells that have not been activated yet, but they're here. And if in fact, or when I should say, when America does attack Iran, those sleeper cells, they're going to wake them up. Should we be, maybe nervous is a stretch, or concerned, but should we be paying attention here in New York City to that threat if, in fact, we do attack?
Yes, we should be, and we are. That I can tell you. I mean, Hezbollah has been here for years. This goes back at least 30 years that I'm aware of. There are Hezbollah agents throughout New York, throughout the entire New York metropolitan area. They're there. We've been aware of them. Ray Kelly was the first one that really brought it to my attention in the early 2000s, and he was monitoring them. I can tell you Pat Ryder is very concerned, very alert, very on top of it. Fitton McCormick and the city. When Dami, I can't speak for him, but I do know that the infrastructure of the NYPD is well aware of Hezbollah. They try to monitor as best they can, and we are waiting for it. I just hope that none of these decisions made by Mandami weaken what the NYPD is doing, because they are phenomenal at this. But I can tell you that the security forces in downstate New York and hopefully around the country, but especially in downstate New York, they are very, very aware. And I say concerned because they've been following Hezbollah for over 30 years. I mean, one thing about Iran, they have the most sophisticated and the best, and I hate to say that, state terrorist forces in the world. They are around, whether it's South America, whether it's the United States, and certainly in places like New York. And again, you should have Ray Kelly talk to him sometime just about some of the arrests that we made here in New York that involved Iranian officials and their links to Hezbollah.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.